There we go.
Says we're live, but it's not showing it on my phone, but we'll just assume we are live. Why it's waiting on Harmonizing Journey, because Harmonizing Journey clicked the go button. Anyway, okay, here we go. Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Foundation Series, also Seminar and Sessions, Introduction to Keylonta Show, Episode 7, The Council Domains, Part 3. Okay, let's go ahead on to the second page. You want to go ahead when I get there to read the second page?
Yeah, can do.
Can you read it okay, or do I need to make it larger?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
So how are we doing this? Are we doing the prayer first?
I'm thinking to go ahead and just read that page first. And then we'll go into the prayer. Unless you feel like we should do the prayer first.
No, it's fine. Welcome everyone who decided to take the plunge into understanding who we are as spiritual beings and how we live out the mechanics of manifestation, which is called Keylonta. The primary resource used was the Elements of Discovery Manual by the Cathara team by Azurite Press. This is an excellent summary of the Freedom Teachings. I and Katie are in no way affiliated with Azurite Press or Ray's Productions. The Elements of Discovery link, or the link to download the PDF, is on the Harmonizing Journey website on the HJR Seminars page with the link below. We will have a Q&A time after we talk, so please put your questions in the chat and please welcome me, co-host.
Oxley, my co-host and Good Keeper member, as well as he's active in helping support people that are new in Keylontic science to get the material that they need to really understand what it is. Yeah. So there's a link for his Telegram group in the description box below. Do you want to just say the name of your Telegram group?
It's called the Workshop Vault. It's pretty much just for anybody that really wants to jump in. I'm making a welcome page on it, so just to help structure it out a little bit. It is recommended that you do the free Ray's Productions technique. I am wanting to kind of expand that section a little bit, just add a couple of more techniques because I don't think there's enough. And there's obviously, but anyway.
Awesome. Thank you, Lewis. All right, so what I want to do, let's see, can I go? Before we get into the material, Lewis and I both forgot, or I forgot, I'm the one that's responsible, to do the Crystal River prayer sequence, just to bring in counsel and make sure we're all aligned as we create a beautiful shield as we go through the information, and the guardians can be present with us. And the guardians are part of, again, there's the dimensional domains, and there's the guardians that are in those domains, and our self that are in those domains as guardians, basically. Do you have it in front of you, or do you want me to do it?
I got it.
Okay.
The Crystal River Prayer and Invocation of the Elisa Silver Sea Councils and the GA, NYYAC, TAEFW, ETYC, EAAC, IMCC, MCEO for Silver Sea Crystal River Plasma Host Activation and Amplification. Part 1, the Prayer of Elisa, Yureishidu, Elisa Alhambra, Donatelli, Sunjadwadu, Easter Entero Derujimina, Elasa Sumpata Alave, Lostila Ilaho Kumana Ila Tejidu, Elisa Sunta E Amitichintu, Elisa Sunta E Amitichintu, Elisa Sunta E Amitichintu. In the Christian name and action of God's first eternal, the eternal Christ Namia, Yusufre, Urea Alhambra, Aria Namia, Urea Alhambra, first absolute bright cloud founders, Elania Tupuya Urea, Christ Star Arionia Areas, Cosmates Alhambras, via Elisa Silver Sea Councils, and the Alhambra Magic Sea Councils of the Cosminias. Uta ete Irashudu, Unala Ita, Jet Alhambra, 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 Alhambra. Breathing to the upper female. Imagine pink on the left, blowing the right, bring those passages together, create a limit there, create a limit there. Bringing it up throughout your field. Alhambra. Yung hindi sa hora ilatrahimus sen ayore, daladrashan navi, cum sa ihoda itata, sheta humbra, cum sa idila yung tora livi, cosminia sa humbris ta ishravi, ta Asian tadore, ta Asian tadore, ta Asian tadore. Abionya ilesa Alhambra abriadon. Abionya ilesa Alhambra abriadon. Abionya ilesa Alhambra abriadon. Uma e trehina e. Uma e trehina e. Uma e trehina e. E kasha. Ashaya Nirochasa, Ashaya Nirochasa, Ashaya Nirochasa.
Thank you, dear Bliss. Just really feeling the councils come in, whether probably the strongest while live, but those tuning in the future recording will definitely feel the connection with your own personal clan family and feeling the energy of the shield, which is, there's always some form of the shield whenever two or more are gathered. There's always a shield created. It's just who you're going to align with, who you're going to invite in, how you're going to hold your space, how you're, anyway, I don't know how you can hold yourself. I'll just go ahead and say it. How you're going to hold yourself, and which is the most important, because you can't control anybody else. You can only feel into who you are and make it feel that within your internal pillar. No matter what modality, whether it's Keylonta, Tantra, Christianity, Buddhism, I'm spacing on other names, but you know what I'm saying. So everybody has their own particular spiritual connection or modality that they're connected into for whatever reason. The focus is making that connection, personal connection with who you are as Aya, God, Spirit, breath. And this class has always just been helping people do that better, helping people really know what the mechanics and science of that technology of who we are is. And this session and the next session will probably be, for now, the last session for the basics has been done, and then I will be looking to do something else in the future with that. Probably looking at, I've been mulling it around, some form of the Kathara 2-3 material, not in terms of teaching people to be a facilitator, as much as just understanding, again, the basic technology or science of who we are as multidimensional spiritual beings. So, as we look at the Council Domains Part 3, the Aurora Councils of the Trimatrix Crystal River Cooperative, and again, that was in pages 76 through 81 that we've been going through. Looking at the Weaselay Aquari Matrix, which is another word also for an Akasha system, which is also another word for an Akasha, remember, is an Eka-Veka system. And we are in a Veka that connects fully into a Veka, and that Veka is a system within an Akasha system that's within an Akasha A, and then another system within Akasha Ea within our Unisai God Seed, within this light body structure of creation, as all it is, God Source First Eternal. Aya, aye, you, me, we, us, they, it. We're all in it together. Nobody better than anybody else. It's just a matter of who is a little bit more awake and aware, and that's it. The We Soleil Aquarian Matrix hybridized with Eartha. Eartha is Universal Stargate 3 at M31 Andromeda, and Earth is hosted in the core of Eartha. I know, it's brain fart time, but it is. Because, again, nothing is actually rock bottom solid as much as we think it is. It's crystallized and solidified as a reality, and that reality is what it is, and you can't just change it because you don't like it, so you have to deal with it. So, and that's where we get planetary programs from. There's been agreements for a particular reality construct. Again, there are good, bad, and uglies, right, of programs. The Aquarian races eventually hybridized with our Veka founder races, the Elahai, Seraphi, Seraphim, and Brahmarama, which next month we will go in depth into that group. And I just wanted to for that, I'm going to be utilizing Voyagers 1 by Ashiana Dean, Arias. The beginning part, let's see, would be, anyway, I think I say the pages that will be used for it in the beginning of the book. Really great in getting the basics of our history here, and amongst a lot of technicals, and there's just a lot of really good information, plus the Voyagers too. And as far as I know, it's currently on Arrayas.com, Arhayas. I think I spelled that correctly, Lewis. If I did, let me know. .com. It may eventually go to Bright Flower Studios eventually, but for now it's Arrayas.com or Arrayas Productions to purchase that material, among other really good material to purchase. And yeah, so that happened 450 billion years ago, so quite a while ago. So the Aquarian races are part of our genetic code, probably more than others, some more than others, depending upon if you're an angelic human and have held your coding as an angelic human, you're going to have Aquarian coding in it. If you're predominantly an Anunnaki or Melchizedek, you probably don't have as much, if any, Aquarian coding. But with the work we're doing, you can align your DNA coding to receive the codes for it, if you obviously so choose. If you don't, awesome, no problem. So it's all free will choice. Yeah, so the angelic human, yeah. And again, that was on page 77. All right. And again, I just to remind, because we only do this once a month, so it's easy to forget. So as I was looking at, down at the bottom, our planet, that is a planetary structure within our Veka system, which again, that the planet has its own multidimensionality, right? Its own harmonic universe, 1 self, 2, 3, 4, right? It holds that within its structure, as well as we personally within our bodies hold those dimensional aspects within ourselves, because it's within the cathara grid structure. And probably when I go to do the private class, because again, I'm kind of limited on YouTube. I don't want to get any copyrights, issues. I'm kind of pushing it as is with what I put on. So I will probably be at some point doing, Lewis and I will probably, if Lewis so chooses, he may help me out. We'll see with doing that class. But looking at, again, the core domain within the center, the blue, Eton, inner is Adon, middle Edon, outer Radon. So again, when I use those terms, the Radonic, the Edonic, Garden of Eden, making that return back into the middle, because once you can jump out of the outer manifest light body structures of its dimensions, you want to go through something called a hub gate into the middle domains of creation, Christ star from which we all came from, connection that can connect us into the inner core and or inner domain, and then deep into the core. And the Tanjahura mechanics is part of really learning about the core spirit mechanics of the core, as well as bits of the inner and middle. The Kathara or Keylonic science is more the outer radonic white body structure, and a little bit on how to interface back into the middle domains and make the direct organic connection back in, but not really much into the deeper mechanics. Looks like somebody joined us, whoever that is. Welcome. And if you're comfortable saying hello, we would love to hear who you are. And again, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment, the chat box. And when I'm through going through the material, we'll look at your thoughts and what you want to add to the discussion, which would be very awesome. And also, if you're okay giving us a 5x5 sound check, just make sure that you can hear us okay, would be really awesome, because we don't know necessarily. We can hear each other. And it looks like whoever that was just bounced off. Okay. I also have the Biveka Merkaba on this page, just again to reiterate how all these Cathara grids you're seeing on the stairway to heaven, they're spiraling rotations. Again, you have your clockwise outer Ettore, your counterclockwise outer Edori. They are major big Cathara grid structures, right? With littler Cathara grid structures in them. They're always spiraling through each other. Okay. And then that's when we get the reshaped pillars and the deeper, more embedded structures of how the energy lines and energy flows work together, so that we can actually have two things: perpetual renewal and awareness through this structure. If you change this structure and do something different, which is what I call second creation finite mechanics, or the two torus Fibonacci spiral, you've just taken that down, and you're in just a whole different ball game, and it has its own science to it, right? The Kabbalah is that science. Do you want to add anything to that, Lewis?
No.
Okay. All right, the Aurora Force Starfire. So the Aurora Force is a field of conscious energy that gives Starfire ability to a system. Starfire is an organic reset for the radonic level to pull back into its edonic level when it cannot ascend, right? It can't. The people in the outer realms are unable to go through that hub gate into the middle domains, which is part of, we use the term ascension, but really all ascension really means is realigning, opening up those energy lines and energy centers of that neural network pathways of the Cathara grid structure to align your different ego consciousnesses within each domain, line up. Again, it's all, the brain is a neuronal structure. There's the physical brain structure of the D1, D2 into the D3. And then there's another structure that further out through the etheric body into the harmonic universe 2, density 2 conscious ego mind. And they work together on through to harmonic universe 3, 4 on out. And till we get into the hub gate system, and there's even more of a bigger connection with that. And the Aurora Force was designed to compensate for, I'm going to just say, because we've been talking here and there about the good, bad, and the ugly choices and mechanics that were created that have altered the system. And for those that still choose the organic system, but have to deal with the miasmic and changes in the neural network pathways of the eternal mind of the all that is Aya. The aurora force came in to work with that and help people that actually really genuinely want to stay connected to who they are as the all that is. And in traditionally, I guess I want to say traditionally, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Louis, the original design, which is kind of part of as source, as Aya, when, and I've talked about, there was the intention within the core to create a different reality called, that we call the light body structure through this inner, middle, and outer. This outer eventually to come out of the inner and middle. Breathing in, source had that intention to creation, out breath, all of those domains got created, and then there's always the associated back in breath, that original in breath. There were so many different things created because we're talking about something that's not 3D brain's not going to hold on to, right? It's a really, 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 really big brain, right? Of consciousness. There's good, bad, and ugly in that whole structure. And through each continuous breath, and again, we're not talking about real time, so you're still almost kind of within that in-breath, out-breath of the original, but then there's more expansion with that, but it's still kind of a process going on within Aya of how to decipher the good, bad, and ugly, or how I'm saying good, bad, and ugly, right? Good and bad is a lot of perspective. You can play back and forth and learn between good and bad, quote unquote. Ugly is intentional decision to stay out of your alignment and create a structure to be out of something different. And that's part of the design. It's baked in the cake. So Starfire was put in there to kind of compensate for some of the ugly. So when a system chose over and over and over and over, and all the people, consciousness, minds, ego, consciousness of Aya in a particular system of the light body matrix, chose over and over again to do their own thing out of being misalignment, there was a Starfire sequence, and of course a lot of science to that would kind of take down whatever that matrix was and start over again, kind of thing. Because remember, authentically, we're not the light body structure. It's our playground. It's us as Aya, that big consciousness, which is probably part of, and we're starting to get how much even that has its own network as well, its own complexities of many big cells within that, playing the game of expanding. Because it's really wonderful to be in that 0 point within the Manu, but after a while it gets a little stagnant, right? You want to breathe out, create, experience all of that back in, process it, work through it, whatever way that Aya does that, and then from those experiences, breathe back out. And what they decided at a certain point, because I have a feeling the Starfire process is not new, it's been around, it's happened quite a bit. Aya has, as source, as the all it is, kind of got to the point, you know what? Let's shake it up a little bit. I want to experience what normally would go into Starfire. I want to bring whatever I can back in. So the Aurora Council came in, was created in essence. Again, Lewis, if any of this I'm off on, let me know. Came in to work something out, and we put in place the I just spaced on it.
Trimatrix cooperative.
Well, there's a trimatrix, but
what else?
What we put in place in 2011, 2012, 2013 to not go into Starfire. I'll probably remember it at some point. But yes, the crystal liver trimatrix was put in place with a lot, as I mean, the aurora force is an aspect of the of this crystal river trimatrix of our Akasha A system to deal with an adjacent Akasha A that broke through our system and caused some shit. So dealing with that for a long time. So again, so the Aurora councils that embody the Aurora force, we also know them as the A with an A, Aquari, came from the adjacent Weasley Akasha matrix as part of the original Crystal River Trimatrix Cooperative. They were the first line of defense when the hub gates looked like they might need to close before opening up the full Crystal River force. Because again, we want people to be able to connect in, but at the same time, we don't want those that don't want to line up, but just want the power and energy that you can get from aligning into the higher frequencies, right? We don't want those to get through. So It's regulating. Eventually, this Aurora Council or Aurora Force hybridized, seeded, downstepped into Eartha. Because remember, Earth, when Tara, our harmonic universe 2, had its cataclysm and broke apart, pieces of it broke apart, went through its sun into our sun, which in a sense fell back in time into harmonic universe 1, and then went into Eartha, which I think he should have said, the feeling I get is, anyway, we were actually part of this. I can't remember if Aisha said this for sure. She did let us know, Liz, that actually I wonder if we were really Eartha to begin with before there was a compromise within Andromeda, and that portion of that system fell, becoming the Milky Way galaxy, into which we're in here now with Terra and Earth and all that whole system. But that's just my opinion. I don't think Aisha, I don't remember her saying that specifically about Eartha. But anyway, so the Aquari, or Aurora councils, interbred with Eartha beings, were then connected into Earth. Eventually, so they connected in, and when they interbred with Eartha beings, the Bindi Aquari Aurora races were created, the guardians of the gate system between here, Eartha, and the Aurora force. Okay. So the Aurora field force runs naturally within the Christic elemental phase of Eartha. This allows us to bring the lights of Aurora even brighter now than in the past. And you all have known in the past couple years, we're getting a lot of the Aurora Borealis energies, which is the Aurora force, coming down into areas normally farther south than they ever would come before, because of shifting out of the old net Earth program and aligning to what we've been working to achieve, which is becoming actually Aurora Earth, which is lining us up directly through the energy lines and energy centers back into Eartha via the Aurora force. And there's, again, when I will probably, with the private class that I'm going to do, kind of get more into the mechanics of what we call Aurora platforms and how that interfaces within the core of the Earth, the physical Earth, the subterranean Earth, the atmosphere, and on up and out till we get into the magnetosphere and all those different spheres and things out around the Earth, which is that aligns us into Urea Earth, which is where we're in. So anyway, so back in when Terra broke up apart, broke apart 550 million years ago. Pieces traveled through the sun, falling backwards in time to an earlier phase of Earth's development, settling within the Aurora's planetary core. The Aurora Councils came to Earth right before Terra fell to help in the hosting process. And I actually kind of talk about that a little bit in my Waking in Elenia book 1. They actually went, I have it where they went to Eartha and talked about hosting in. And again, Eartha is Universal Stargate 3 at M31 Andromeda. And M31 Andromeda actually interfaces right directly from the radonic field into the edonic middle domains. Okay. But it's at the middle domain density 1, because each domain has a density 1, density 2, density 3, density 4 levels. That's just part of the cathartic structure. Everything has it that's organic, has that cathartic structure. Yeah, Eartha resides in the star system we were originally part of before our time matrix became compromised, falling to become the Milky Way galaxy, which I said earlier. The Bindi Councils. Oh, I'm sorry, Lewis. Do I need to go back to anything?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're doing good.
Okay. The Bindi Councils. So they're a combination of the Aquarii races of the Aurora Force and Eartha. Becoming the gatekeepers of the Aurora Force of Eartha and Earth, we have 3 main race councils. And again, that's pages 78 through 81. So the Amasia, blue dragons, aquatic bluebird hominoid. They live in underwater cities. The closest match we can find in fiction is the movie The Abyss. They are featherless blue aquatic birds with cape-like wings and an overall human-looking form. They're also known as the Aurora Blues or the Bindi Blues. And of these 3 Bindi races, they have been able to hold the organic light body structure the best, and that the other 2 have actually gotten a little compromised in not holding the full D12 coding. Right, Lewis?
Yeah.
The Ishanue gold dragons, known as gold dragons, and it's more dragoons than actual dragons. Winged lion biped humanoid. They are the winged lion people. The Beauty and the Beast series back in the 90s was a good representation. My character Ganado in my Waking Eleni series is another example. And you see a little up in the corner there. My rendition. Then we have the Rathajin 2 purple dragon, Breatharian white hominoid. These are the white genies who are humanoid in form. They have translucent pale white skin. When in form, their natural state is hanging out in an orb. And I can't read what it says underneath that. I don't remember what I said. But anyway, so I'm going to say kind of the traditional genies, probably the same thing. And which I think is interesting, and that many of them had gotten trapped here, right, in the little genie bottles and were controlled. But when they're out, they can do a lot of creating and manifesting and getting, there's a lot to them. But again, they got compromised, right? So they got trapped. And even the character, in the Beauty and the Beast, he was kind of compromised, right? He wasn't really 100%. So, but as yet, I don't know that we've ever shown in history anything that's a problem with what we consider blue dragons, or really dragoons. And there's something key about the dragoon history that is key to our particular matrix system, that you've got to have some kind of dragoon coding to be able to actually enter this time matrix. And it's not the traditional dragoon that you see in history with the Chinese and British history. They have some dragoon in them, and they also have draconian, Seraphim type coding in them. you want to add anything, Lewis?
You didn't really look, no.
Okay. Building of the Aurora Earth, right? Because we've been in the middle of that since basically January 2013 was when it started to come online. And there's a particular code that that Aisha has that she used for that, working with the Alhambra, which I haven't really focused on the Alhambra particularly. I may do that in the more private class, working with that. Or I might just finish out the next class with working with the Alhambra. But the Alhambra are part of every density level of the light body structure into the middle domains, into the inner domains, into the core, and even beyond that. Alhambra are very key liquid crystal sound beings. Okay, so the Aurora Councils can shape-shift into any form. So basically, we're talking right now for Aurora, the Bindis. They have created a field that connects the Earth shield, right, to Earth's shield. And that's, again, with the Aurora platforms and what I call the bypass system. With the work that I do within Aisha talks about it being the integral bridge, 7 bridges flows, crystal bridgeway, mechanics of this Aurora Earth development, because the current stellar activation cycle is not working as designed. It's actually become compromised. So you don't want to go directly through the normal ascension process. And again, we've been involved with creating literally a new light body structure, utilizing the bigger mechanics. But initially, we were working, when we were bringing in the Aurora, working with the Aurora Force, the work that they've been doing is with these platforms is allowing portions of Earth and its life field to pass into Earth's edonic levels. So it's basically stargates 1 through 4, when appropriately activated, have the ability to run the Aurora potential of that bypass system. Sometimes it looks like we've got it activated. Other times we've got problems. We're working on getting them cleaned up. The writing of the stream of Aurora lights into the Edon didn't come to fruition. We're still working on dealing with the stuff. But part of it is, so the bypass system was actually put more actively in place. That's kind of initially before I'm going to say before 2000, let's just say. We didn't quite have all this activated with the platforms and bypass system. There was just an energetic connection with the Aurora Councils, Aurora Force between here and Eartha. Since that time, that's changed. But something much better occurred in its place, the bringing together the net Earth and Amenti Median Earth to become Aurora Earth. Amenti Median Earth is, okay, again, like I said, the world is not rock bottom solid. And I'm seeing we've got, it looks like 4 people. Just a reminder, 2 things, 5x5 sound check to make sure you can hear us properly, and as well as any questions, comments, anything you want to share, you want to say hello, that's awesome. Okay, so again, nothing is rock bottom solid. There's still solidified, crystallized realities, but there's bigger aspects of that. The planet that we call a planetoid is really not real. I mean, it's real. Okay, it's real. There really is a planetoid structure, but it's fallen mechanics. It's compromised, second creation finite, tube torus, Fibonacci spiral mechanics that creates that tube torus, or creates that planetoid structure. When you get it looking more at the multidimensional organic structures, yes, there's a sphere structure. Everything, the catharic grid structures always have their orb structure around them. So yes, there is an orb structure, but it's not a planetoid. It's not 3D. Bing, bam, boom, hard surface. And So within the actual morphinogenic field consciousness of what we consider planet Earth, it was kind of divvied up into three portions. We had the more fallen planetoid net Earth aspect of it. Then we had the Amenti median Earth aspect that had to do with the its ascension capability with the Amenti sphere, with how we came from Tara to here and that whole conscious structure. And then there was something called the hibernation zone structure of different time periods when places like Atlantis and Lemuria and other different time frames of different structures basically reversed their alignments and went from being running the organic crystal spiral consciousness and reversed into the second creation Fibonacci spiral consciousness. They're actually still in those same geographical areas. There is, but you can't, from our perspective, see it. If we start seeing it, then we're actually aligning up into that more reverse aspect. So the Guardians worked with bringing the Net Earth and Ascension Median Earth together, aligning with the Aurora platforms, bringing in that Aurora force so that we could shift out of the old time matrix of the Fibonacci spiral fallen reversed ascension process that was occurring, I think, since 2009, or was it 2007? Something like that. 2000. Again, I want to say 2009. We went off the crystal spiral of the natural ascension process. So, or Earth. So we've been really working on that, working out the kinks and problems. Is there anything you want to add, Louis, before I go on to the next?
I was just going to mention that if you really wanted to connect with your Aurora Force, then we can start singing the Song of Aurora, because when we start singing that song, it starts to activate the receivers of the Apathai to actually, within ourselves, to actually start receiving and realigning.
Yeah, maybe if we remember, it's not too late, we can sing that song before we're done.
Sure.
Okay. As well as the floating Buddhas. There's a particular technique that she started back in
2008,
2009, when it looked like things were going to kind of go a little bit to shit, and worked to help us be able to create that bypass system and connect with our Bindi expressions and Eartha, so that we, can align up better. So the floating Buddha Shade Shield is how we can directly connect with our personal Bindi Aquarian codes to connect with, or I said, in our DNA as angelic humans, we've got that Aquarian coding, but it's dormant. So working with the floating Buddhas is a way of activating our dormant Aquarian coding, or Aurora force coding, which will help align into the planetary grids to help the planetary grids align into its Aurora connection and create better Aurora Earth.
Oh, Katie, we've got a question as well.
Okay. Hello, Cosmic Ocean, and hello, Nora. Welcome. Yeah, and that actually is a good question. Hold on. Okay, I can do this. And I didn't want to do that. Hold on. Back to that page. And okay. There we go. So is Amenti Earth being hosted within a star called Ashale? I don't know if I'd use the word hosted. Well, yeah, because she talks about Ashale. Let's see, hold on. Well, actually, she talks. Let's see, hold on a second. Adashi, because I think she uses actually, thought it was on this cheat sheet. Yeah, here it is, Ashalave 3. Ashalam Edonic Healing Temples. I think it's both Amenti and Net. It's part of the bypass system of the Aurora platforms. What you just said. So I'm going to say yes to your answer, to your question. You want to add any more to that, Lewis? Nope.
No.
Okay. All right. So connecting. Okay. So and also as we go deeper and deeper with the mechanics and get more into the core mechanics, we're also connecting into something called the Urele Conservatory, deep within the core, and something called the Pan frequencies. So we're also, with the work that I do with harmonizing journey to realignment, we're also working with connecting with something that's kind of coined, Yeisha coined, and I kind of changed the spelling a little bit, but anyway, Aurora, or Urea Earth connection. So that's almost like kind of the way I'm feeling. It's like heaven to Aurora Earth. At this point, I think as it develops more, I think Aurora Earth is eventually going to more align, for those that align with that energy, will become more into Urea Earth. But that's just my feeling. I could be totally, incorrect. Oh wait, I better probably, because it gets in the way of my reading. Okay, and you are very welcome. Right. Okay, so we have as I said, the Bindi Aquari, and so when we create our floating Buddha Sheda shield, we call in that family lineage of our personal Bindi Aquari, and the word we would use is Zata, and that's within the Eartha Adashi temples. And Adashi we are Adashi adepts. So part of that neural network pathways of ascension, going through all those different domains, we actually are called Adashis when we do that. And the Adashi is someone who's made it down, all the way down through the light body structures, made their way back up again, back into the core. And yeah, and then I think Mashayahanas have done it like 2 or 3 more times. But by that time, we've kind of got it mastered. Right?
Yeah.
And so that would be, and they're running that Aurora force as well. The Aquafarian, the A2 Aurora platforms Adashi temples. So again, somebody that's mastered going back and forth within the middle domains, because the aerodonic, and the Aquafarian, or 8. Let's see, hold on a second.
Katie, would you like me
to? I would. Okay. The two are blending in my eyes. All right. And I think the Aquafarian are also related to an adjacent Akasha within our system as well, within our Akasha A system, of how the Bindis got their Aquaries got their coding to begin with. So there's a lot to those guys. And then, were you trying to help me out, Lewis, or did you have something to add?
Oh, I just wanted to ask if you want me to read out the Floating Buddha's Elemental cluster team descriptions that she gave in Sliders 8.
Yeah, and I actually have it right here. I was gonna read it, but you can read it too. You can read it as well.
Oh.
Let me just finish this, and then I was gonna go through those. So
perfect.
The A-Qua-L, the Kisa, Healing Temples Aerodonic Shala 3, which I think I might have spelled that incorrectly. No, that's no, I got that right. Shala 3, yeah. So that's aerodonic, has to do with the middle domains and how that interfaces within Eartha, and how Eartha is interfaced with the middle domains. And the A-Qua-L is also when you talk about Jeshua, or we sometimes reference him as J12. Some people historically have said Christ or Jesus, came out of the Aquiel, the Kisas, and they're, when you activate your Shada shield, they interface. There's the they are, the Kisa are one is in front of you, and then the Aqua, the Ray, are the healing temples. Edonic Ashalam is a healer behind you, and Lewis is in a minute going to read more specifically about them. And then you have the Zion or the Kavo, Median Ascension Earth. So get a maker connection into Median Earth there. The AVS Cathedral. And I think that was where you were talking also about the, or I should say the the Ashalay 3, Ashalam of the Aquay. Yeah, so that connection referenced earlier. And then beneath them, the Zion, the Kavo, the Median Ascension Earth, AVS Cathedral, which I think probably at a certain level connects with the Alhambra Cathedral structure. The Aquafari, Cieta, Median Ascension Earth, AVS Cathedral, and then the Fari, Median Ascension Earth, AVS Cathedral, Net Earth. So how all of these interface at different levels into our world and how that interfaces into the bigger part of our Earther world. And yeah, Lewis, if you want to go ahead and read the, off our thing, I'm going to be right back. Go ahead and read it. I'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. So, oh God, I'm going to do this. So, number 3 in the M31 Adashi temples, you've got the Medni Aquaries, which are trainers. They are known as the children of Aquafarian from the Aquafarian matrix. They have various different species and body forms, such as a blue aquatic humanoid, bipedal, winged lions, and a white humanoid genie. So those are the 3 Aurora Force beings that we're kind of talking about, the 3 different councils that kind of created that. And they also have 4 genders. Also located within Alpha 3 and 51 in the Dashi temples. And also part of the Aurora platforms, we have the Aquafarian, which should agree as the Aquarian of human hybrids from the Aurora platforms. So if you're an angelic human, in other words, you hold part of this coding, so to speak. So the Aquarian of human hybrids from the Aurora platforms, refined human form. They breathe air and water, various species of skin, hair, colours. They also have 4 genders. They are on average 8 to 18 feet tall. And they are your general teachers and your earth hosts. Located within Shala 3, Iridani, in the healing temples, you've got the Akriel, which are healers. When you sometimes see them, they're known as the Iridani Aerosparkle people, Idori Aquari humans. They are really good at shape-shifting, apparently. Humanoids made at M31 adjacent spirit, ether sparkle matter, pale, pastel, iridescent, metallic sparkle-like beings of various races. They don't have no gender, and it's also J12's original spirit family. They specialize in resurrection healing, and they're pretty much master counselors. If you could ever see them, they might come in as glitter orb fields or just glitter orbs, and they're also known as Kesa when we're calling them in. Within Ashalay 3, Ashalim Iridonic healing temples, we've got the Aqui. Oh god, I don't know. AQE healers. They're the children of M31, Idonic, and Shannon, and Anshatisha Aquari of the Aquarium Matrix original. Idonic M31 Aquarian, Ashatisha Aquari, elder refined humanoid form known as the Radiant Giants due to their luminescent gossamer skin that perpetually radiates light from within. The skin also changes colors with the inner light radiation spectrum, which responds to all forms of emotions. Radiant light is the base observation of the four gender. They've got four genders. They are approximately 72 to 216 feet tall. Average? I don't know what that would mean.
Average height 144
Yeah.
feet, which is approximately 16-story building.
So anything bigger than that we have here, in other words.
Oh wait, and they're biological healing specialists. So they're the A-ray, the Kisa and the A-ray. Those are the two. Those are, of all of them, those are probably the key ones to know, because that's your healers when you're working with them to do emotional, mental, elemental, all kinds of different levels of healing. Is working with those two guys.
Then we have the Zione, which are located on Median Earth, the HJR cathedrals, and I've just kind of noticed when we see them, they're known as indigo violet. So would the Zione also be the indigo children? The ones that came down here for the stellar activations, would they be the Zione, or would they be something completely different, do you think?
They may have their coding. They could very well have their coding. Yeah.
So Zione, the attendants, children of Median Earth, Akori A, and the Earth Aquafarian. Aquatic. I can't even read this. Aquarial human.
Aquatic, aqua human fish people. I'll go ahead and do the rest. Start good. Life in water-borne gel eggs. Grow into small gossamer skinned fish. No scales or slime. In adolescence, transfigured to like mermen. So in history, we could say there are mermaids. Then have choice to transfigure to bipedal, which there always seems like there's that choice, right, in all the movies, that are they going to be staying mermaids or half fish people, or are they going to get on land and stay there? They tend to be 6 to 18 feet tall, average 12 foot tall, so they tend to be very tall. They're master tutors, general healers, and companions. Will be the first ones we meet physically with sliders to translocation to Median Earth. This material was part of the original sliders material. Again, this is Ashianadine Arrayas, Arrayas Productions. I did not put this at all together. All right, we're just repeating what Aisha brought through with working with the Guardians. So yeah, but even though we're not actually technically doing the sliders material, if you want to do the Buddha technique, floating Buddha technique, creating your Shada shield, which is part of what is involved with the harmonizing journey to realignment session, is activating your Buddha shield. That's part of the process. So you can work with those beings, that part of yourself, for healing and stuff, and just dealing with the crazy stuff on this planet. There can be helpful that way, but they don't take the place of your own discernment skills and abilities and choice making. They're just there to help and support. The Aquafari, and they are from, I guess I didn't read with the Zione. Did you read they're part of Median Ascension Earth?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Aquafari, Median Ascension Earth, the cathedrals, helpers and playmates, hybrid children of Eartha Aquafarian. Eartha Aquafarian, Aquari Earth human hybrids, further hybridized with many other planetary and inter-universal Christic race lines to engage specialized service as telluric elemental command force, planetary guardian on Median Earth and elsewhere. Many Aquari human forms, bipedal, 3 to 8 feet tall on Median Earth, but appear 3 to 12 inches tall when visiting Net Earth. Many occupational specialists. So those little creatures, not creatures. So like in our myth stories, particularly in Britain, in those areas of those little elemental beings, hobbits and stuff, right?
You still see
Fairies,
them.
hobbits, gnomes, kind of those guys. But those guys would interbred with Net Earth to get gnomes. I don't think gnomes are actually from Eartha, but they bred with these guys to be physically on Net Earth.
Would that also include like the fairies and things that you sometimes see when you are doing the gardening?
Mm-hmm. And actually, I say that, but then I have to go. But this is more D2 elemental, the more of the elemental kingdom. So I would say ancient history, we actually probably could see them because we were more awake and aware back in the day. But there's also, which what Lewis is referring to, we have in Net Earth AVS cathedrals, you have the Fari, helpers and playmates, children of median Earth Aquafari, seated on Net Earth by the Aquafari to engage specialized certain Aquafari was that what we just referenced above, the helpers and mates. So there's another little down step in, again, the breeding thing, breeding more into Net Earth than staying more of the Aquari type Eartha coding. We then get the Faris. So helpers and mates, okay. Seated on Net Earth by the Aquafari to engage specialized service on Solaric Elemental Command Force planetary guardians on Net Earth. Many human forms, and that might be more what I was talking about, the gnomes and that kind of thing. Many human forms bipedal 3 to 8 inches tall on Net Earth appear microscopic when visiting median Earth. Many occupational specializations. Some lines have fallen to caduceus and phantom Earth agendas. It's another way of Fibonacci spiral, tube torus, all that kind of mechanics goes together. So yes. So that's the floating Buddha team of your shade of shield have how good way to connect into your Bindi self, your Aurora consciousness into Eartha, to make that alignment into the middle, going from the outer domains to the middle, inner, and core. And your core is within your internal core of your being as well. So this mechanics is within yourself, within the planetary structure, galactic structure, how energy lines and energy centers, how they all interface together. Okay. Thank you, Lewis. In conclusion, we are huge radiating beings of spiraling sound Un-One, light sound Un-One, conscious awareness, and life force renewal. We are the true builder races, right? So there's this thing of the builder races. We are the builder races. There's nothing that came outside of us. It's all within us, okay? We are the Iane. I was going to take that out. I was thinking about putting it on the website. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. I didn't, so I may not. I don't know. Lewis, I think you have it. Do you have it up in your Telegram group?
Have what?
The what we just went over with the
Buddha
team, the Buddha.
Yeah,
and all
I've got
that.
it. Yeah.
So people can go to your Telegram group and get it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want, or just do harmonizing journey to realignment session, and we'll get that way too. Actually, the introductory, if you get the introductory PDF, actually has it in there too. Okay. The Iani, the children of the Iane, and of our Itori Radon domain, the council's domain. Oh, okay, part 4, episode 8. So they're both a founder and guardian race who seeded, downstepped into our Itori density 4 and 5 ecosystem 950 billion years ago. They abide in the Eka core of our time matrix within the Etori Akasha. They further seeded, downstepped, forming our 15-dimensional time matrix seed races, the Elahai, Elohim, Seraphi, Seraphim, and Brahmarama founder races, aka builder races, the true builder races, not the Anunnaki, whatever, drama versions of it. The Yanni have great respect and humor for us. They have been learning a lot from us and understanding, and I don't know what I said after underneath that. So anyway, let's see if I make it smaller. I can see. Oh, wait, that's not making it smaller. Anyway, that Yanni aspect of us isn't as emotional as the human race tends to be. Actually, the Alhambra understand human emotion way better than the Yanni does. So eventually, hopefully, I'll talk more about them. All right, how badly are we doing? 5 minutes over? Okay. So, harmonizing journey to realignment seminar and sessions. This is your journey to reconnect and realign with the eternal core of your being, of the all that is, God Source First Eternal. We combine Keylonta technology, light body, and Tandria her spirit body mechanics. And the Aurora, or not Aurora, anyway, there's kind of a process we go to, my kind of funny version of the Aurora My Pod Space version of it, Sanctuary Islands, where we get our pod, the little crystal vehicle that we use. We connect into the Elysian Flame. We connect into the crystal caverns. There's the integral bridge, 7 bridges flows, rainbow polar bridge. Up above is connecting into Aurora Earth, but down below we're connecting to the crystal caverns, which is located within the core of the Earth itself. And you actually really have to go down to go out. So it's really connecting into that mechanics and a lot of other good mechanics. Again, harmonizingjourney.com. There's also a link in the description for private sessions, as well as the HJR Grid Keepers Community Membership Program. A grid keeper mindfully develops a personal relationship with their multidimensional clan spirit family within their personal planetary morphogenic field templates. We work with the Mashayahana Yurei Earth Conservatory, or YKEN, Prayer, Healing, and Awakening Salon Pod, located in the Silver Seed Sanctum, or Sanctum within the Ureda Great Hall within the Crystal Caverns Aurora Earth Deity Plains. And that kind of gives a little version. My art skills are not the greatest. Anyway, but of course I can't show Yesha's version of it because I could get slapped. But anyway, of the mechanics of which is pod space is your spirit body within your eternal core mechanics and plasma generating force. And people have been talking about the power of the plasmas. It's this mechanics. Did you want to add anything before I go on?
Just that we can't wait to see you there. We're always looking for new people, and it doesn't matter if you're into New Age or whatever else. We're all redeemable.
Exactly.
We all just need somewhere to start, and the Grid Keepers membership can really just be a perfect place for you to start.
Yeah. You can be active. There's a process you go through to journeys that you go through to get yourself building your confidence, getting your pod space consciousness together within the crystal caverns, and eventually making it up into the integral bridge, rainbow bridge pillar, then up into your rare earth, and connected into there, and then you're ready to join when you're ready, the live group, main shield. But right off the get-go, once a month, we have our monthly discussion. When you're ready and feel confident, join in that group, meet everybody, connect, and then we have, usually when the recording goes off, we have just private time where we all share and talk about what's going on over a wide range of topics. You can participate in that. Or if you just want to get the material itself and you just want to do the recordings, you're more than welcome to do that as well. It's all up to what you feel comfortable with. And again, harmonizingjourney.com website. as well as in the description. There's a link for it. And for those that like to do the book, because I always like when I get to know new people and their material, I'm like, do you have a book? Because some people just like the book. So we have the HJR Good Keeper's Handbook for those. So an HJR does not mean conforming to any religion or organization's rule on how to live a happy, successful life, or how to make it to heaven. It means focusing on waking up to who we are as spiritual beings living in a biospiritual universe. The first step in breaking the cycle of expressing as a finite life structure, right, is embodying the concept, belief, or hologram that we are God's source, first eternal life, humans co-creating. HJR is a map or guide that takes you wherever you want to go, right? Your own free will choice. What do you want to line up into? Although it's not going to really help you line up into the Tube Taurus Fibonacci to get you out of that. And then wherever you're comfortable going within the organic life structures. Excuse me. And then my Waking in Elenia book series, a newly inspired sci-fi. I still feel like it's a newly inspired sci-fi fantasy series about who you are as spiritual beings living a multidimensional biospiritual existence. Yeah, there's still a lot of people that haven't read this book. So Kara's from the continent of Elenia, where the Solar Templar initiates, which is Tara, our harmonic universe too, where the Templar Solar initiates dominate, and the people are slowly being drained of their life force energy, which the Solar Templar initiates use to control Tara's planetary Templar. So it's a pre-cataclysmic Tara, kind of what the world was like before it, went to shit, and then kind of what made it go out, and then how we aligned into connecting into where we're at now. And a little bit sort of the heart of what the MNT sphere is all about. And then the book 2, Waking in Elenia book 2, is the team travels through the inner portals of Earth, awakening the once dormant passages leading to an ever bigger world than their beloved Tara. Did you want to add anything?
Oh, yeah. So Yeshi always really emphasized with the history during the freedom teaching period. She always used to emphasize that the history, it's a technique on its own. And the more that we start looking into our history, the more the energy will go down into our personal shields. It'll start activating things, triggering things, realigning things, and you'll start to really remember who you really are. And it's the most empowering thing in the world, because we come in through the net, we don't remember a thing, we don't know what we're doing, we're all at the mercy of the fallen angelics and all this other rubbish. But by reading this book, by reading Voyagers, by doing this material, by joining the Grid Keepers membership, all those things together are just going to be such a massive empowering journey. You're going to be remembering things, you're going to be able to make better decisions. Because ultimately, like, we look at Tara, all the shit that's going on in Tara, the same shit's happening here. The same thing that happened in Atlantis, it's happening here. The same, it's all just happening. It's just repeating, repeating. And the reality
it's all now.
Yeah. So if we can at least remember partially what happened last time, we'll be able to go in now, while we're in our center, within our ego, and make better decisions and realign into the crystal spiral and everything in between. Plus, if you just really enjoy things like Star Wars and everything else, then you might as well just jump in and read it. You're not going to lose anything by reading it. If anything, you'll only gain.
Thank you, Louis. Okay. All right. The Harmonizing Journey schedule. So HJR Insights Tarot Show, the 28th is coming, or the 28th, and because that's not next week, it's the week after, right? 1 p.m. EDT, aligning with the crystal spiral energy forecast for May, and it's 6 p.m. your time, right, Louis?
Yeah.
which is, say the initials for yours, I just spaced on it.
Huh?
BST. BST. So 6 p.m.
Right.
BST. And then Mastery of Keylonta episode 7, May 5th at, again, 1 p.m., 6 p.m. BST. My relationship with Source comes first, pages 25 through 27 of the
Keep.
steps.
No, wait.
Let's go. And then our last, probably for now, our last introduction to Keylonta, episode 8 on the 12th, again, 1 p.m. EDT and 6 p.m. BST. And we will be, again, pages 70, finish up with 78 through 83, and Voyagers 1 on the Sleeping Abductees. HJR Insights Terror Show for May will be on the 26th, same time, same bat channel for June. And then please like this video. please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please share to anyone you think would be interested in this content. Please subscribe to get more of this content if you haven't. Hit that notification button. Hopefully you will be notified. Some people don't, but hopefully you will be. Again, I am not monetized by YouTube, so donations are greatly appreciated. The donation link will be in the description box below. And with that, thank you so much. And as well as just it, I don't see any more questions, so I'm assuming there isn't any more. But thank you for the first one comment and the people connecting in and saying hello. Appreciate it very much. So much love and blessings. Thank you. And we will see you guys on, what was I said, the 26th? For the HJR Insights Terror Show. Okay, and I need to get out of this screen to end. Okay.